Thank you for tuning in to the Whatcha Sis podcast. I'm PGC, your host. This episode will be quite different from the previous ones. We recorded it on Thanksgiving Day, surrounded by family. So, you will hear background sounds of family activity. We intentionally wanted to record the episode on family that is unstaged and during a special family gathering. This is also our last recording of 2023. It has been an exciting, adventurous, and at times overwhelming, but in a good way, year with the launch of the Whatcha Sis podcast. My co-host Cookie J and I hope you have enjoyed listening to the podcast, and we look forward to posting more episodes in 2024. Thank you to all of our family and friends for your love and support. Have a wonderful holiday season and enjoy this episode on family. Hey, we back at it.
Yes, by the grace of God.
Yes. Welcome to the Whatcha Sis podcast. I'm PGC, your host, and here with me is Cookie J,
Yay.
My co-host. We are excited about this episode. It is on family.
Yes.
And what better time to record an episode on family than on Thanksgiving
Day.
Woo! Yes, it's Thanksgiving, and we have just finished our first round of dinner.
Yes.
And we have a live audience with family. Say hello, family.
Yeah. That's a little turkey heavy there.
Yeah, they still stuffing their face. So, family.
Yes, family. What about it?
What comes to mind when you think of this word, family?
Yeah, family, when I think about family, it's really something that isn't necessarily tied to relatives. I think of family as something that can easily be associated with, people in your life who feed you emotionally, psychologically, even, physically. And so I think we can expand, that definition in different ways.
Yeah. Doesn't necessarily mean blood related.
Yeah.
Compare and contrast dynamics of only child versus a lot of siblings. I know that you come from an only child family, right?
Yes, I am an only child, but what's interesting is that I am the oldest of the grandchildren and the youngest of the children that my grandparents raised, because they also raised me most of my life. So I have a little bit of a baby, younger child syndrome, as well as a older child syndrome when it comes to all of the grands, and in some ways kind of a middle child, because I'm in between all of them. So it's an interesting dynamic, I think, that kind of shaped me growing up.
Yeah, and I am like one of 7 other siblings. So I had 5 sisters and 2 brothers.
And where are you in there?
Number 4.
Okay.
Number 4, but sometimes it feels like I'm the oldest in some aspects. But it's very interesting growing up with a lot of sisters and a couple of brothers. We were pretty close family, so there's that. But we also had our spats. But we still love on each other.
Right.
Yeah, so I can imagine it, different dynamics when you're the only one and versus a bunch of us.
Yeah, I didn't get to experience that sort of sibling rivalry thing that happens often in families. And what's interesting, when I had my own children and they would, and bicker and go back, I didn't understand what that was. And then they'd be friends and happy and playing again. I'm like, what is this?
I think that most of my siblings would probably say that I was special because I like to keep the rules. I like to follow the rules.
Yes,
right?
you do.
So when they don't do what they were told, then I have to bring it to somebody's attention because they're not doing what they were told to do. Something bad might happen. I was really more like a scary child. I was afraid of everything. I was afraid of the mud. I was afraid of a lot of stuff. I don't know why I had such fear. I just always felt that, there was trouble or danger around. And it might have been because we were in Mississippi in the 60s. So
that makes sense.
It does now, but I couldn't understand why I was so afraid of everything. When my sisters would leave the house and they were not supposed to, I would be afraid because I'm afraid that something's going to happen. It was not a good time, especially in the South. But now I recognize that's probably why I was afraid, and they would call me probably tattletale. But I'm just trying to inform my mom on what's going on, so that she can make sure that they're safe. Everybody's safe.
That tells me so much more about you. Yes, and part of the reason why I love you so much. But yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, and just to add on to that, I think the location of your childhood impacts your experiences. Definitely being in Mississippi growing up impacted me a lot. I was one of the kids, I think it was third grade that the desegregation happened. Yeah. So we could no longer go to our neighborhood school, but we had to be bused to the other schools that were much further away, and we had to ride on the city bus to get there. We didn't have the yellow school buses at that time initially. Yeah. So I think that their focus was really on trying to, integrate, and they had not worked out all of the details or the specifics, so that impacted us a lot. Yeah, same. Growing up on the East Coast, primarily in North Carolina, but I spent 4 years of grade school in New Jersey as well. But it wasn't until my middle school years that I moved back and finished grade school or middle school in North Carolina during the time of desegregation. And like you mentioned, we were bused I lived on the west side of Charlotte, and we were bused all the way over to the north side of Charlotte, which was, for us being young people, and what we all love about our young people is they're very adaptable. And I think, it certainly, at that time, was an opportunity to kind of get more experience and integrate with other demographics. But I do appreciate that experience because, again, that part of town is where the money was, and so we had a nice school and we had great athletic programs, and it was a good experience overall. Growing up and meeting people that I probably wouldn't have met staying over on the west side of town. So all of that plays into our character and who we are today.
Let's kind of switch gears here and just talk about any special relatives you hold dear, aunts, uncles, cousins, and what about any impact of your grandparents?
Yeah, all the above. I mean, again, being an only child, my family was everything, and I had 3 aunties. My mother was the 4th of the daughters, but I had one of my aunties who shared my birthday, and she was one who I lost earlier in life, but she was always very special to me for obvious reasons. And then so what I still have living are my oldest and my youngest auntie, and so for different reasons they're absolutely my fave. One's like a older sister that I never had, which is my younger auntie, and then my older auntie kind of serves as my mother figure, as I lost my mother many years ago as well. So yeah, they're everything. I had 5 uncles who, all equally, I can't even pick one out, but they were all equally significant in my life in that they helped to instill sort of confidence in me, and primarily because they just treated me as one of their own, and sort of that protective father sort of role in my life in the absence of a father. So they're all very special. And then, of course, I mentioned earlier, my grandparents raised me most of my life. And so they are, were like everything. And I've since lost them both, but they were everything. So, I couldn't pick out one over the other. But, yeah, they're all very special.
Yeah, same for me. My grandparents pretty much raised us with my mom. Really hold them very dear to me. Spent a lot of time around them. And I had uncles who lived in Michigan, and Michigan was a place, Chicago, Illinois, and then Muskegon, Michigan was a place that we would travel in the summer to spend time with relatives. And so I had some really great uncles that lived in Michigan. They're all passed now, but that was fun times for me, and I really hold them very dear to me. So it's something about your uncles and your aunts and your grandparents. Hold very dear memories.
Very dear.
How about let's shoot this to some of the family?
Yeah.
Anybody want to chime in?
Jump on in here, you guys.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. I'm sure our audience would love to hear from some of you guys. We're just talking about family, and is there anyone that you hold dear, like an uncle or an aunt, cousins?
Yes.
Yes. So come on to the mic. Yeah.
We're celebrating family today. So
yes.
Let's hear about your most
who I hold dear. Can I put this on?
Yes.
I think for me, an aunt and uncle, they were like my grandparents. And he passed, so that was kind of hard. But and then also I have a set of cousins that are super close. So my dad was born when my grandparents were in their 40s. So his siblings kind of raised him. So it's like I have a whole bunch of grandparents, really. But probably, so all my second cousins, I was raised with like my first cousins.
Right.
So, yeah.
Great. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Come on, don't be shy.
Come on, family. We're celebrating family today.
Yes. And I'm not going to edit any of this out. Okay. Thank you, Rachel.
It's raw.
All right, Chris.
This is weird.
Let's have it.
Who do I hold dear? All of my aunts and uncles I hold dear for different reasons. My aunt Jenny for just being loving sports like I love sports, and kind of with my mom showing me the ropes on how to play basketball and just loving on me and just teaching me sports. My Aunt Gloria, who passed, for taking care of us when my mom was in the military and off to different places. Living with my Aunt Linda and my Aunt Ernestine. At one point or another, we've all lived with each other as far as aunts and uncles. We've all been living in each other's houses throughout the years. So
yeah. Pretty much everybody's funneled through our house at some point.
Yep. So my cousins are more like brothers to me, brothers and sisters more than cousins, because we were just around each other all the time and like living with each other. And so I often call them brother and sister because that's how I feel. I think sometimes when you think of cousins, you think of like there's this distance or this, not necessarily a barrier, but a distance between you. But with us, we were so close and tight knit as kids and teenagers that we're like siblings. So
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's all lovely, but sometimes even with the people we love, there's sometimes conflict. So I'm curious as to, maybe an example of when you may have had some conflict that you worked through.
Well, with my cousins, we never really had conflict. I more had conflict with my older brother, because we're close in age, and we for a time we look similar. We still look similar, but we look like people would call us twins for probably the first 8 to 10 years of our lives, and my mom didn't do us any favors by dressing us the same on the same day.
I didn't, y'all.
And so there was a lot of trying to find our individuality.
Sure.
It was easy. Okay, you wear the same thing, and I got to figure out who wore what. Yeah. All right, y'all know what I'm talking about out there.
If my kids were here, they would say I didn't have room to talk. So yeah.
Everybody would say, "Are you guys twins?" Like, no, we're just brothers.
Yes, that was the going saying. Yeah.
Let's see, a conflict. A lot of conflict. But as far as like working through, we always work through because we know that we love each other and we're brothers. There's nothing really gonna separate us, and so I don't know if I can name a specific conflict because there's like too many to even.
Yeah, no, we don't want you to name anything.
No, but you guys have two distinct personalities. You're just very different. To be so close in age, very distinct personalities.
Same. My daughters are 20 months apart. And you'd think they were raised in two different households. They're so different. But I love what you said about, at the end of the day, you're family. So you work things out, you give grace, you forgive, you forget, you move on. And I think that's one of the values of family is that, opposed to falling out with your neighbor or your coworker or somebody at the grocery store, you can just, it doesn't really have any meaning or true value to you, those conflicts. But when it's family, you work it out or you let it go.
Yep.
Thank you, Chris. Moving on to special gatherings. For me, Sunday dinners growing up was everything. Sunday dinners was like a take on like the Thanksgiving or the Christmas holiday dinners. Every Sunday we had a huge dinner, and we had people who would just come over to eat, people that I wouldn't necessarily know, but my mother knew, my grandparents knew, and they would always invite people in, never turn anyone away. It was just really special for me. But we were in church probably 6 days out of 7 growing up. If it wasn't BTU on Sunday evenings, it was Bible study. It was usher. You have to show up if you're an usher for usher practice and choir practice, and then youth on Friday, youth activities. It was something every day. Mission. It was something. And then on the holidays, like for Easter, we had sunrise service, we had morning worship service. We came home, went back to BTU, then we had evening service. So it's like all day in church. But it was special to me because I enjoyed going to church, even growing up. And I look forward to the Sunday dinners because it was everything you wanted. Fried chicken, it was like pound cake, peach
we didn't realize how good we had it.
Every Sunday I just think back, how did we have such good meals every Sunday? Because it's not like we had a whole lot of money, right? But we always had more than enough to eat. Fresh foods like greens and peas and beans. So, and then the holidays were just a blow up from the Sunday dinners. My favorite would be Thanksgiving and Christmas are my favorite holidays because of family. So, how about you?
Yeah, I think what's interesting, and certainly like you, both my grandparents were ministers. And so without saying, yes, I spent a lot of time in the church growing up, but I think that's why it was equally important when my aunts and uncles would come and, invite me to do things with their family and go golfing or movies or what have you. So that balanced it all out. But what stands out though for me as far as gatherings are more of the, like, on the 4th of July and Labor Day and those big holidays where, you know, there would be food and there'd be games and cards and talking smack, and which I've perfected in.
Yes, you have.
I have honed my craft.
Yes, you have.
Growing up talking smack.
Yeah.
And so, okay, Pearl.
I can testify to that.
But those were the good times for me, because you would have, you know, folks just come together. They were usually during the summer months, and, you know, you're outdoors, or just have that added sun shine and great weather to was kind of that added element. So those were the best memories, I think, for family.
Yeah.
Do you have any of the little ones I want to?
Let's see.
I know, it's like you've been nonstop talking since I've been here. Now it's all quiet. Oh yeah, he's done this before.
Hey, so do you want to tell us what family means to you?
I think it means like being kind to your family people, like your elders. Of like being kind to your elders and being nice to the people that you love. And
that's awesome.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
Awesome.
That was 7. Thank you so much.
He has been just that, very polite and kind.
We wanted to surprise you with a special segment in this episode, and to come into more episodes, and it's called Mom, Remember When?
Oh boy. Ooh, glad my kids aren't here.
Here is my son Chris with the first segment of Mom, Remember When? Chris, you have the mic.
Mom, remember when I ran away from home in 5th grade? Okay. Backstory. My older brother, Charles, was never liked school. He was very smart, but didn't apply himself. And so this 6th grade year for him in middle school, first year in middle school, parent-teacher conference, Mom goes there and all negative reports back. Not turning in his homework. So like incompletes, fail, I don't know. And he gets home with Mom, and it does not go well. Does not go well. If you have a parent that's raised in the South and you don't have good grades, you already know. You already know. And you're like, Mom's like, Chuck, what's going on? Chuck said, they lying, Mom. They lying. They all lying, Chuck? They all lying? Yeah, they all lying. Okay. So he had some problems, and I didn't want to see any of that work. I didn't want to see any of that problems. I didn't want to see that. And so I had a progress report, and I had a D in the progress report. I was like, I'm flashing back to what happened to my brother. I was like, no, I don't want any of that. Nope.
He didn't want no smoke from Pearl.
No smoke. And so I didn't, because you have like 2 weeks or so to have your parents sign it, because your parent has to sign it to show that they seen it. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess I'm gonna run away, because there's no way. I can't handle that. What he got, I can't handle that.
Oh no.
So I planned it out. I don't know what I had. I had like a He-Man toy in the backpack, and like maybe a couple clothes.
A He-Man toy.
Yeah, one He-Man toy. One He-Man toy in the back. It's my favorite He-Man toy, and like a couple pair of clothes I put in my backpack. And so probably a week goes by, and like I build up a nerve to try and run away. It's like after school you get on the bus, and so I get to the bus, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna run away. I'm not gonna get on the bus. And then I chicken out. I get on the bus. Go home, and then it's getting closer to when I need to turn it in. And then my mom so happened to be going out of town for a couple days on a site visit. I was like, okay, this is a perfect time. I can run away now. She won't even be scared or nothing like that. She won't even know. And so get to the end of school. I get to the bus, and I was gonna chicken out again. But then some kids saw me and say, "Hey, you want to play basketball?" I was like, "Oh." And so I didn't get on the bus. I played basketball, and that's what led to the running away. I played until everybody was gone, and then I walked the streets of University Place, Tacoma.
Oh my goodness.
For a night. My mom's not in town, and this is the time where most of the family's up in Washington, and so I didn't come home. My aunts and my cousins are all looking for me, and I'm roaming around Tacoma, University Place. Going to different places, going to the mall, going to the video game place, even though I don't have any money, just hanging out. So now it's pitch black. I hear police cars. I'm thinking, oh, they're looking for me.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to go. So I was like, maybe I'll go to my Aunt Linda's house. She'll protect me. She'll protect me. So I'm gonna walk from University Place, Tacoma to Lakewood. And so as I'm walking, trying to get to my aunt's house, I go past the 7-Eleven, which is near our apartments where we lived. As I'm passing the 7-Eleven, my cousin Anna comes out and say, "Chris," and I see her and I start to run. But she ran track in high school. I was like, "Oh man, she gonna catch me. I might as well just stop." So,
Oh my gosh.
so she caught me, and I got to the house, and I'm like crying because I'm thinking I'm gonna go to juvenile hall for running away. And so the police come because they were searching for me. And so they said, "We're not gonna take you away or whatever. You're fine or whatever." And then my mom's coming home the next morning. So I go to bed. My mom gets home. I'm in bed. It's probably noon. 3 o'clock comes. I'm still in bed. She's like, "Is Chris still in bed? He must really be tired." And like 5 o'clock comes. I'm still in bed, right? And I was like, "Oh man, I might get away with this. They're not telling her." "Oh man, I might get away with this whole thing." Okay. And then my Uncle Mike comes in. "Hey, did you hear what Chris did?" I was like,
Man.
"Oh, Mike, come on, man." I'm just pretending to be asleep. I've been pretending to be asleep about 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
My mom comes in, "Chris," like I'm just waking up. You ran away. Why'd you run away? She grabbed me up, and I got similar treatment to what happened to my brother. Like, don't you ever run away again. If you ever run away, don't get caught.
Oh my goodness. Survived.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
Survived.
Thank you for that segment. Mom,
That
remember
is
when? We're going to
pretty
try and incorporate that into some of our
That's a good
episodes moving forward. Well, y'all, that is our time. It has been fun.
Been great.
This has been a great day, a great time for family. Thank you, Cookie J, for hanging in and hanging out.
Absolutely. Wouldn't want to be any other place.
Well, that is going to be all for us, and that is a wrap.
That's a wrap. Time for seconds.
See ya.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.